this is Design Start, and today we are going to talk about shadows and how to set up them. So shadows are widely used in the interfaces, and now I'll tell you how you may create the shadow by yourself as well. So I already created the new frame and there is a rectangle inside that. So how would you create a shadow? You can apply shadow to any object, not only to shape, but also to text, but also to frame. But the principle is always the same. So you select an object, you go to the bottom of this right side bar and go to effects, you add an effect, and by default it will drop shadow. There are multiple effects here, but now we will talk about the shadow, with this drop shadow. So if you can see that here the shadow appeared, but now you may also set it up. So you go to this button, effect settings, and here you have multiple things. So this one is X, which means that it will cast the shadow in the X axis. So let's change this to 10, and you may see that it go to the right. Now we can do the same to the left if we go with the -10. You can see that. And let's leave it 0 for now. In the majority of cases this one will be 0. And you basically will change your shadow by Y axis. So this one is blur. If you increase blur, it should increase the blur of the shadow. You can see it becomes more blurry. And if you go back, if you leave it as 1, for instance, it will be very visible and very straight, let's say. Now let's do it 8. In majority of cases 8 it's what you need. You can see it now. Now again, let's change y-axis to 2, so it's smaller. And again, you can go more here and you can see how the shadow is growing, and you can get back to from where we started, and you can see it looks slightly better. Now the spread is basically how the shadow will grow. Again, usually I do not use spread at all. Usually I have it set up to 0 because this looks more beautiful, let's say, and it looks more professional. Now here is the color of the shadow. I would not recommend use black. Now the black color is set up. I usually go for some dark blue color. It looks usually slightly better. And here you may also see the transparency of this shadow, so you can see how the shadow looks like now, and you may decrease the transparency of the shadow. For instance, go back to 16 or something. And now with this gray rectangle you can see it's almost impossible to see this shadow, but when you change the color to white you'll see the immediate result. So yeah, this is something you need to know about shadow. Now we can do the same for ellipse. Let's try that. So we will change the color to white. We will apply drop shadow, and now we again may change the color to blue to make it 16, make the blur 8. Let's do it even 16, and then we can change this to 6, and you can see how it applied. So that's it. This is what I wanted to tell you about shadows, and see you in the next videos.